We're back.
Hello.
Hello.
So we went from 2 last week to now 3 this week. So that's good.
We gained one.
We gained 1.
Oh, gained one back.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys introduce us while I pour my beer, please.
Hello, welcome back. I am no longer sick, and I am here. Jan is here. Garrett is pouring his beer.
Brian is not.
Brian is not. Brian is
I don't know.
somewhere. Who cares? So
This is an exciting episode
It is. It's our.
because this upcoming game week, where are we going to be, boys?
We're going to be watching these games live.
Well, some of them at least.
Hell yeah. I'm so excited.
We, the boys, will be in London and Manchester this weekend.
Yep.
And then Birmingham and Manchester again.
Yeah.
Midweek. So, woohoo. It's going to be a thrilling adventure.
Yeah,
We're going to have a lot to talk about that next week episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be intense.
No, it won't. We don't have a tent.
That was a Clayton joke.
2.
You liked it,
I
don't
liked it. I
All
liked
right.
it a little bit.
Okay, here we go. Getting into game week 13, correct? 13 it is.
Yeah.
Early big game this week. This
Yeah,
game
it's
week.
Start us off, Chief.
You got it. Amigo. Okay. City Liverpool, 7:30 a.m. on the East Coast, where we are from. Woke up at our local bar at 7:20. Place was a mob scene, by the way.
We woke up there.
Yeah, we should have actually. Woke up, went
The
there.
place was packed.
And it was packed. It's 7:20. Great
Yeah,
to see.
no.
Love to see it. Pretty great game. I think the highlights are, I know my highlight, but fun to watch. Pretty back and forth. Chances from all around. That was Brian's comments. Fun to watch. Great insight, Brian. Appreciate it. Allison made some big saves. Wasn't great out of the back.
I
Kicked the
don't
ball.
think either goalkeeper was particularly great to what their usual level. Like they did the job, but like I thought Allison wasn't great. I don't think Ederson was amazing.
Yeah, his distribution is what it was. It was pretty decent for Ederson purposes, but Allison made like 2 bad balls, and it was like, oh my god, my leg, it's killing me.
Well, I think he actually did something to his hamstring.
Yeah,
I
came
think he's
out.
out for a couple weeks now.
Is he really?
That's what I heard.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see if he plays midweek in the Champions League or not.
True.
Or
So
Europa League. Sorry.
my big highlight, as I've been saying for the last couple weeks on here, Doku's the best 1v1 player and dribbler.
So did you see the stat that he dribbled past Trent 7 times?
Yes. Remember when you said when we were watching the game, I feel like he's only dribbled past him like once.
I did say that, and I found that stat, and I was like, bullshit. And I watched it back, and I guess they count like just kind of like beating him and cutting him back, like that's still 1. So but yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. He had a good game. He was the most dangerous player on the field. I think they said he has had many touches in Liverpool's box as Liverpool did as a team against City.
That's kind of incredible.
So he had a great game. He's only going to get better, I think, and yeah, he's dangerous. That's for sure. He's fun to watch too. He's probably the most exciting player for City right now. With like
100%.
Yeah.
Do you have Doku in fantasy?
I do, and he's my best player.
Why is your team name not Count Doku?
Because Team 6 will live on.
Come on. That's so good.
It is so
Sorry.
good, actually.
all good?
I will say, did you see that Trent was almost going to get
I don't know. I don't understand that at all.
punishments for that celebration? I was like, that is exactly what every football fan wants to see, is some shithousery like that.
Yeah,
You're going
it's
to punish him for that?
ridiculous.
Absolutely not. Do not do that.
I just think it's funny to get like shit on all game and then do the silencer when you score the game tying goal. It's kind of funny.
But
But yeah.
I mean, good result for Liverpool. I mean, away at Etihad's never easy. They, got a point late in the game.
You're just stoked you're top of the league.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But still, it is a good result for Liverpool regardless. I mean, like going into City is not an easy, it's not easy to get a point there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the start of a pretty rough run for City. They have Spurs at home. And then
I'll
away
be
to
at that one.
Yeah. Oh, you will? Yeah.
We'll be at that one.
And then they're away to Villa. I take that back.
Easy win.
They've got 3 tough games, and it was actually no. They started a tough run with Chelsea. And then
Not for
Liverpool.
nothing. How many games can you consider tough?
Yeah,
they
had
play.
Chelsea,
That was a pretty
they
good
tied
run of games.
4-4. Liverpool, they tied 1-1. Then they had Leipzig today, which they won 3-2 on some bullshit. And then they have Spurs next week and Villa the week after that, and then they slow down a little bit. But that's a tough run of games, and the fact that they've only dropped 4 points with 2 ties, that's a pretty good result for them.
Yeah, and the Spurs game is going to be what it is. We'll talk about that later. Other noteworthy stat, I think Holland reached 50% Premier League goals now.
Yeah, it's
and it was like the fastest
ever.
ever.
Right?
So
I think it was like 48 games or
some
league
shit,
games or
crazy
something.
shit. Yeah. So yeah, he can still score. Fun fact. Hey, that was my big takeaway from that game. So we can move on if you guys would like.
Good.
Okay, cool. Next game we have written down is Burnley West Ham at 2-1 West Ham. This is kind of a wild game.
You barely thought they were going to get a win, and then
I
West
mean,
Ham
an
turned
own
around.
goal
at
in
the
the
end.
91st minute winner is kind of insane.
Yeah.
I think I remember at one point we looked and like Luton was winning, Burnley was winning. We're like, oh, this is the week of like the promoted teams. And then like 2 seconds later, I looked and it was like West Ham 2. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. I mean, Kudus looked really good. He played a role in both those goals. He sent the ball in on the own goal, and also got the assist on the Souček goal too, the game winner.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been a great signing. West Ham were smart with their money. They reinvested their money. I think the Declan Rice money.
I don't think like when most
smart.
teams do those, like they sell one big name player and they try to refinance their team with all the money they used. I feel like it usually doesn't work out. Like when you look when Spurs sold Bale, they didn't really get anyone that like was great that was still there. But I think that West Ham, when they sold Rice, they've got a pretty solid core group between Kudus, James Ward-Prowse,
Alvarez,
yes, I'm forgetting the center back that they purchased.
Mavropanos.
Might have been him, yeah. But they've got. I feel like that all those guys, like they're not star-studded super powerhouses players, but they're all good players that fit in that system.
Yeah. I mean, just look at James Ward-Prowse. Like, I think he's been one of the signs of the season. He's slowed down a little bit since the start, but he's still, like we say every week, he's just such a threat from set pieces and from even open play too. Like that adds a new, a new threat that they didn't really have last year.
Yeah, just to clarify, own goal in the 86th, game winner in the 91st.
Yeah.
I think you said own goal in the 91st.
Oh, my bad.
All good. But yeah, Thomas Souček, game winner. West Ham looking positive these last few weeks. Then much better than last year at this point of the season. I think they were fighting for relegation, I think, already at this point.
I mean, they're on a 3-game win streak right now, and they're in first in the Europa League group, so they're looking good. And they've got
I'd say that's positive.
they've got a Europa League game, then Palace, and then they've got the Spurs game, which we will all be at except for Dan.
Isn't Bowen hurt too right now?
Did he get hurt in this game? Did he pick
Did
one
he
up?
start?
He played.
did, yeah.
I don't know if he
Oh, he
started.
did? Okay.
But I know he
I
played.
don't know where I saw. Never mind then.
He did not
No,
start.
he did not.
I think he played.
Nope, he was out.
Oh, see, I think he is injured.
Yeah,
so,
Dan was right.
They're winning without him too.
Wow,
which
we're
is
just slow on the pickup today. He didn't play. He didn't start. He was out.
And they still won 2-1 away.
Yeah.
So that's a big result.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Burnley, and
What do we think of Burnley? Is it time we finally say, okay, they're going down. They're in dead last with 4 points, 11 losses, 1 win, 1 tie, minus 22 goal difference. Are they done? Are we calling it at this point in the season?
Well, I think it's so funny because we always like bagged on Luton as being like the obvious one to go down, and right now Luton's sitting at 9 and they're sitting at 4. So I mean, Luton's done their job way more than Burnley has this season. And I think there's been a few games where we've said like, this was one Burnley had to win, where they were playing and they had the lead and they lost. And this is just another one of those games where they were winning in the 86th minute and then lose 2-1. Like,
yeah,
the teams that are trying to fight relegation, you can't do that. You got to fight for at least a point in this game.
I mean, still, we're not even halfway through the season yet, but it's going to be a tough second half of the season for them. Does company decide to change the style of football they're playing, and they kind of do this whole park the bus that we see most newly promoted teams do, or is he going to keep doing this expansive,
Like we kind of
ball
said,
around kind of football?
I think we talked about it last week. Where like they don't really have an identity because they can't play the way they want, and they refuse to change it to anything else. So they're kind of just in purgatory. It almost seems like with a style and like with an identity. So we'll see if they change it.
All right,
they got to change something.
That's for sure. Next game, speaking of newly promoted teams, Luton Palace.
I mean, Palace looked a different team with all Eze on the field. He was pulling strings. Him and Eze looked great until Eze had to go off.
That's gonna be a big loss if he's hurt
That's
for a
gonna
while.
be huge. Yeah.
Ise is huge though. How bad
It's
is the
huge
Eze
having him
injury?
back.
Did anything come out?
Don't think I saw anything. I just know he was hurt, and I don't know how long he's going to be out for.
Regardless, having Elise back is a huge, I think we talked about last week. Like he was one of the top assisters last year. very influential to that to the Palace team. So I think having him back is gonna be huge. Hopefully, Eze isn't too serious of an injury.
So Decore could be out for up to 6 months, and Eze could be out to up to 4 weeks.
Okay, it's
So-
not great, but not terrible.
No, it's not.
He'll come back
terrible.
this season, but still gonna be missing key games in the middle when they're really fighting.
The
Yeah.
Decore one's that's bad.
That's not great. Up
No,
to 6 months, not great.
No.
But how about Luton, huh? A little bit of steam
yeah.
from the boys
Yeah.
coming up here. Yeah, this game was a lot of nothing, and then 70th minute hit, and it was like, holy shit! I know there's a goal called back. I think Edward was either a foul in the build up or he was offside. I think it might have been
Oh, it was
offside.
a handball.
It was a handball. That's right.
Yeah,
He slaps
yeah.
it over
He
the keeper's
slaps it-
head.
He kind of slaps it over the goalie. And I remember when we watched it live, I was like, "That's such a terrible call." And then I rewatched it, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh no, yeah, he
100%
he
slaps it
totally
over.
basically grabbed that." This was kind of a smash and grab for Luton. I kind of loved it. I thought it was a great. Just they, even though they're home, this is kind of the style they're gonna have to play with the kind of players they have, and just park the bus and then hit them on the counter pretty much every time because they're not going to be possessing the ball against pretty much anyone they play this year.
Yeah, I think they have to make most of their chances, and that's pretty much what they did in this game. They had 3 shots on target and 2 goals, and that's about as much as you can ask for. And then they defended well when they had to.
Any concerns with Palace? Their form is loss, win, loss. So it's 4 of their last 5 losses. One being to Luton, which you think they probably would win or get a point from.
Yeah, I mean, I think they haven't had a full team on the field this season. I think that's killing them because I don't think they're a team that has a bunch of depth where like they can afford injuries. And so we just talked about how they didn't have Elise for a while. Now they're gonna have Eze, and then Decore is gonna be out. So their midfield's kind of, a better word, fucked. And I don't think Edward is the end-all be-all answer at striker either. So their team, I think, that needs to make some type of move come January to just ensure that they stay up with their current form.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely need to change something or get healthy, which one you really can't help too much.
Yeah, and I don't think, they're not that far off from where they were last year. Like, they're kind of in the same spot. And, they didn't bring in anyone, like, huge outside of Lerma and Lakonga. I don't really remember them bringing in anyone that was like, this guy's going to change the team. And they lost their key talisman, Zaha. So it's kind of expected that there's a little bit of a drop-off because they don't really have that potent goal scorer. But I could see, them maybe getting a loan for like an Anthony Martial or something, someone in the January transfer window just to help them up front.
Martial. That'd be
Interesting
interesting.
shout there.
That was just the first
I think it'd be a good
poor
move. I think
striker
it'd be-
that came to my mind.
Nothing says offensive prowess like running Martial and Jordan Ayew, just really ripping the phones.
Yeah.
But yeah, so win for Luton as they try to crawl back to Brian's prediction here was top half of the table. Don't think that's going to happen, but they're trending.
No.
The next game was a fun game for all of us. We got to watch one of our friends suffer.
I love Chelsea. I can't wait to see Chelsea live. I'm seeing Chelsea play Brighton, and I'm so looking forward to it.
So Newcastle 4, Chelsea 1, and a pretty convincing win from Newcastle in this one.
Yeah.
They look good.
And this is a Newcastle not at full strength either.
Yeah, they're missing a lot.
Yeah. They started a 17-year-old kid in midfield, Miley, and he got an assist.
He bossed it in the midfield.
Yeah.
And he started today in their Champions League game against PSG.
I mean, it's huge. They have what? So there's no Longstaff. There's no Tonali, obviously. They're missing. I know Murphy's been out for a while, but he just came back, I think. Subbed in late in this one. But
Wilson.
still, no Wilson.
Dan Burn,
So, I mean, they're missing 4 or 5 starters.
Longstaff.
I already said that.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Why don't you listen to me? Why do we have to do this?
I don't have the headphones
We
on.
don't have
I
to do this in
can't hear
public,
you.
okay? So, yeah, they're missing a lot, and they're playing what we assumed was going to be a competitive game against the Chelsea side here. Not so much.
Chelsea's back line looked terrible.
It was horrible. It was absolutely terrible. Silva showed his age a little bit in this one.
He had a great
He's
assist.
starting to.
Well, I'll never forget. I think it was so we were watching the game at the bar, and our friend Anthony, who's a Chelsea fan, he was like, "Yeah, I think they said Thiago Silva's like the oldest player to start for Chelsea in the Premier League." And in that exact second, he fell over his own 2 feet and knocked the ball out for a corner kick, and it might have been the most perfect moment of all time.
It's so funny.
And then, like we just mentioned, He pretty much passed the ball for a breakaway.
To Joelinton, yep.
Reece James double yellow. You think that's warranted?
I mean, the first one was for time wasting, which we've seen this year.
Kicking
It's going to
the
get
ball away,
called.
yeah.
Second one is soft. It's more of, I think, game situation as opposed to the actual foul itself.
I mean, I just think he's the captain of the team. He's got to.
He's deliberately, like, hands are out. It, like you said, it is soft, though. So I think, like, the fact that, Gordon was past him, he goes down really easily. But you're still probably going to get a foul call on that regardless. I think the second yellow is a little harsh, but still, like you're saying, you're the captain. You got to be smart in those situations. You don't want a red card.
Right. Like, no, you have one.
Yeah.
And he's so good for Chelsea in the system, and him going off the field. Like I think after that, we're all just kind of like, "Oh, this game's over."
So yeah, that was one of the big. I made a note at the bottom here regarding Reece James, who I think arguably you could say most people thought would be their best player this season based on what he's had in captaincy. The best ability is availability, and he is not available often.
We've been saying that for years, though, with his injuries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, since his breakout season, I feel like he is more often injured than not, and it's just you're kind of waiting for him to get back. He plays 3 great games, and then he's out for a couple months. And this was the big thing with Gareth Southgate in the English call-up, because he got not called up, but he basically took himself out of contention for the England camp because he said, I know my body. I want to make sure I'm fit for Chelsea, and then I'm doing what I have to do. And frankly, those games didn't really matter for England.
Yeah.
And Southgate said, whatever, we'll see what happens come the Euros, but he's definitely worsening his chances. And he's like, well, I know what I know, and I'm trying to stay healthy and try to play a full season. Which, good for him, but he's also, 23, 24?
Yeah.
That's like something you hear an older guy say.
Right. I'll leave you a comment there, Dan.
No.
Not to completely just shit on Chelsea. Sterling, great free kick.
Yeah, it was
Fantastic.
great.
Oh, epic,
Great
yeah.
shot.
He's, ever since getting omitted from the England team like 2 times in a row, all the shit that's going on with the city and how well they're doing and how it's like nobody's really thinking about him as that kind of player anymore. He's had a chip on his shoulder, and I love it.
What kind of chip?
Cool Ranch.
You think Cool? Oh, interesting.
It matches the bag matches the jersey.
That's fair enough. They're both blue. That's good.
Yeah.
Doritos sponsor us.
I mean, Pope couldn't do anything about it. He just
No,
stood there. He's like,
I did say in the moment, like, fake the dive. I know you're not going to get there, but him just standing there watching it go
doesn't
in
look great.
really doesn't
optically.
look great.
Do it for the cameras.
I don't remember what situation, but I know Pope had one crazy save in this game, I think, because I was like, oh my God, yeah, it was like last week he did the same thing. But I'm not going to try to recall the moment because I don't remember off the top of my head. But, yeah, great win by Newcastle, 4-1, rolling with injuries. Well, let's slide to our next game.
Slide on in.
This was, I think, a game I was very excited about. No, not that one. Click the wrong one. Brighton, Nottingham. 2 interesting teams here.
Good game, too.
Yeah.
Start with a bang. Alanga scores 3 minutes in.
Yeah, so nothing's better than when you bet Brighton and then they're fucking down 1-0 3 minutes into the game and you're just like,
Uphill
well,
battle.
that sucks. And I think we had like 6 people at the bar we were with who had bet Brighton money line on this because it was a good odds. And 3 minutes in, we're like, well, fuck us, huh? But Alanga, who's been doing well, the old United player, is he loaned or is he sold?
He's sold.
I think he's sold, yeah.
Sold. Only if United could find a goal scorer. Sorry. Brian's not here to defend
Brian's not
it.
here.
So it's
They
just
won
pretty-
this week.
They did. We'll get there. Key points, key anything you guys been doing this one?
I mean, Lewis Dunk with the double yellow for the red for back talking.
Yeah, we literally looked up. He was getting a yellow, and then 2 minutes later, he was walking off the field, and we're like, nothing's happened since. Like, the game has not restarted yet.
Who was there? Anthony Taylor? Yeah,
Yeah.
you could just tell he was like not having it. He
Nope.
was just like, he said something. He's like, all right, you're fucking done.
I want to know. I would love to hear, like, when you see like NFL football players mic'd up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want that mic'd up. I want
Yeah.
to know the whole back and forth conversation because I'm really hoping Lewis Dunk was like, "Your mother," like something like that, and the ref was like, "What'd you say about my mom?" And it was like, "Fuck you, get out of here." Like, I want it to be something hilarious. I don't want him to be like, "That's a shit call, ref," and the ref's like, "You know what? Fuck you." I want it to be something fun.
If you
That's
get a
funny.
red. I mean, might as well be a good,
Yeah, right. Like,
good
you
burn
better
or something.
like you better like threaten to like come to his house or something. Like, it better be something crazy, like something really outlandish. And I thought that was nuts. They were saying it was like the first time that something like that happened in years. That like a guy sent off for just talking to the ref.
Ferguson scores in this game. I think he's going to be a great player. What just that? Did you miss your coaster?
No, when the beer went
made a
back into the
popping
glass, it made a popping sound.
Jesus.
It was kind of funny.
Ferguson scores 26, tie the game, and then João Pedro scores right at the end of the half, and then a pen like 10 minutes into the second.
Yeah, he came on for Fati in the 21st because he got hurt. And I mean, we were talking about this at the bar, how Fati was the next Messi when he was at Barcelona, and then injuries kind of dragged him down, and he was starting to have that kind of resurgence where he was getting a lot of minutes and he was looking good for them. And now you really hope that this isn't something that
he gets about 21 minutes in.
Yeah, you hope it's not going to put him behind the 8 ball again, because he was starting to really get into his stride, and especially with some of the injuries Brighton have had, he's getting a lot of playing time now. I mean, they had Welbeck, Milner, Matoma, Estupino were all out. Marsh was out. I mean, he could have been playing, you're talking at least another month or two with no competition, and now you hate to see it happen to him.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel like we haven't talked about a lot. It's just like Brighton's been struggling with a lot of injuries this year too. Like Matoma's been out for a little bit. March.
A lot of teams, I feel like the injuries this year, and it's just nonstop. It's like every other game, someone's getting a knock or someone's doubtful for the next game. And when City used to do the whole, it's international break, let's pretend all our players have knocks. But these teams actually have injuries.
I was sad to see Lamptey get hurt in this, because I feel like 2 years ago he was like going to be the next up and coming best back, and then all of a sudden just injuries again have just hampered what was a promising start, because he's still pretty young, Lamptey.
He's 23.
Yeah, so I mean, he just can't get on the field, it seems like.
He can't.
He got hurt back in
34th
October.
Minute.
Yeah. Comes and plays again, gets a start, gets hurt again.
Yeah.
I mean,
2 players I just want to call out, though, one from each team. Morgan Gibbs-White, I think he's a great player.
Did he get a call up for England?
I don't know. I don't think. Did he?
Gibbs-White?
Yeah. Because he fucking deserves one, I think.
Yeah. He had a goal and assist in this game, I think. Yeah, goal and assist. He just, everything runs through him.
No, but he was in the team for the U21 Euros that won over the past summer.
I mean, I understand the competition there is tough for center mids in England. But
well, look at Foden. They don't even play him in the middle because apparently he, quote-unquote, doesn't play there for City. And it's like, yeah, but he can.
Very well can. Who's the other shout-out?
Pascal Gross. That man's just like
grossly
little
underrated.
engine that could.
32 years
made
old.
that
I'll
joke
make that joke
before.
every time. I'll make it every time.
32 years old. He just started getting call-ups to the German national team this past August.
2 assists. Like, I think he had like 6 key passes from we'll talk about him in fantasy later.
From a fantasy standpoint.
Just 2 players that, you know, so influential to that team that may go under the radar a little bit, especially Gross.
Yeah, I mean, that was, as a neutral, that's a great game.
Yeah, awesome game. Definitely gave us a little bit of a heart attack because, again, we all had Brighton to win, and then they got the red card, and then it was just like a fucking defensive fest for the last 20 minutes, so didn't love that as the heart rate. Okay, here we go. This is the game I don't think really anyone cared about this weekend, no offense, but it was probably what we assumed was going to be the most boring game of the week. Sheffield Bournemouth, just to preface it.
I mean, I'm going to say the same thing we said about Brighton. I mean, all these teams that got promoted don't look great. Are we writing Sheffield off?
Burnley, you mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, Burnley.
You confused the shit out of the two of us. Me and Dennis looked at each other like, the fuck is this guy talking
Are we writing off Sheffield? I mean, they just looked. Well, that one goal was so out of the blue. They looked so not great.
Well, as far as relegation goes, this was a big game.
Oh, absolutely.
Points wise. And this just, I mean, at least in this game itself, showed that Bournemouth has a little more quality than Sheffield does.
They can score goals.
Right, which is Sheffield hasn't been able to do for the last 2 campaigns. This is the problem is we can't say everyone's going down. You know what I mean? That's an issue. So eventually, I think one of them stays.
You do?
I think one stays. I really do. I don't know who.
I don't
the
think one
interesting
does.
thing is Everton too. Like,
That's
I think they'll be okay, but the 10-point deduction is tough.
This is the year to get a 10-point deduction, though.
I know, but still, it's like.
But I mean, right now they're 5 points behind Luton.
Yeah.
And Luton's playing better.
Yeah, but Everton's next. I mean, we're kind of jumping the gun talking about Everton, but their next 4 games.
That just shows how exciting the Sheffield Bournemouth game was. Is that the first thing we're doing is talk about another
and
team?
there was 4 goals in that game.
That it was.
Tavernier was great. We can go back and we'll wait on Everton. Let's talk about
All
this
right,
game.
there we go.
Tavernier was great. He scored a brace. He looks threatening, and he's only 24, so that's like a guy you could really see.
I feel like you weirdly know the age of everyone.
I know everything.
Like, do you like look it up before you say it, or do like you just fucking know? Like, you could be lying, and I would have no idea.
No, he's 24.
Is he? Yeah. All right. Cool. Fair enough.
That's like a player I could see going to like a team like Crystal Palace, where, like we were saying earlier, they got Jordan Ayew on the wing. You know, maybe they need someone a little bit younger with a little more pace. And the same thing on the other side with Semenyo. Semenyo? Am I saying that right?
As good as I got.
Semenyo? Yeah.
All right.
Semenyo.
Well, he's 23. He's from Ghana,
Semenyo.
and he looks good too. And I always liked that Culvert guy in the center, the Dutch kid.
Yeah.
I used to get him in FIFA all the time because he was like an up-and-coming star.
Yeah,
and
I
he
remember
just
that.
kind of went down a little bit. But he's playing well too. And I like that front three together. And they looked good. And now that Solanke's finally solidified himself more as a I don't want to say Premier League forward, but as a
serviceable
forward. Like, he's not. You're not going to be hitting balls to him and going, "Oh God, what are we going to get out of this guy?" He's become a little more reliable. They look better. The problem is that they can't spend the money the other teams can spend.
Right. Most teams, they think in that situation upgrade, and I don't really know if they have the ability to do that. Sheffield gets one late goal. McBurney scores in the 97th.
Yeah,
just
it's
to
like a
save the
consolation.
shutout, I guess,
Yeah.
if you want to get some positives. But Sheffield at home, losing to another team that's battling relegation, not a good omen, I would say. Okay, here we go. Moving on to Danny Boy.
Brentford 0, Arsenal 1. I mean, well, we'll go with Brian's quote first. He made a
He really put a
comment.
lot of really good
Honestly,
positive.
bored watching. Havertz winner is funny. That's his
hardcore
analysis
analysis, folks.
there. Yeah, it wasn't like the most exciting game. I'll agree with him there. But
Sorry,
still,
I was reading the rest of the notes we have on this one. Sorry.
oh, we didn't delete it. We have a Google Doc, and me and Garrett were making edits at the same time in different spots, so we were typing to each other.
So the last note in the game is "fuck you, Garrett, little bitch, baby back bitch," and then in the middle of one of the Ramsdale comments, it says "ligma balls," so everyone wonders what's on our notes for the day.
Yeah, so that's how
We're
we
real
prep.
professional.
That's
over
how we
here.
prep for our show. But yeah, 3 points. Havertz gets the game winner, which I think is good for confidence. And, I feel like, well, before that, Ramsdale almost fucked up real bad. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, we
That
all
was
saw that.
terrible.
He
did
definitely
not have the game.
He was very nervous.
He
I
had a
think.
couple nervy moments in this
He
one.
did. He had definitely had a few, but that one in particular where he, just gave the ball away, stolen, and then Declan Rice had to save his ass off the goal line. So, I think that it just shows how much the decision kind of fucked with his head. That Raya is now number one. I could see him honestly being either loaned out or sold.
You got to loan him out. You can't
Yeah.
have him sit the bench for the next half of the season.
The only thing is I don't know who our backup would be. Like we don't have anyone
Like
like.
that kid Hine. What's he, like 22, 23?
Yeah, but I saw him in preseason. He's not
Not great?
not great.
Wait, you mean you don't know his exact age? Don't look it
You
up.
can find
He's
out.
21. He's Estonian.
They're going to say he was a stoner.
No, he's from Estonia.
Estonian.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think Ramsdale's run his course at Arsenal, as much as I hate to say it. But
Yeah.
you
It's just a
saw,
shame.
yeah, I mean, just his confidence is gone.
Yeah.
Not that I think he was fantastic on the ball ever, but this was a shell of what he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel for the guy, especially because this could have been his chance to get some playing time, to have a little bit of stock, and to kind of basically say, hey, I'm probably going to be for sale. Look what I can do. And, I mean, clean sheet, great. He didn't really have a lot shot-wise he had to save.
Yeah.
But with his feet, you were like, holy crap.
Yeah. No, I feel like people know him by now. Like last year, he was our number one, and he, was great all season. I would say one of the best keepers in the league. Made some great saves. Again, the ball at his feet's not his strong suit, but he's still a Premier League level keeper. So I think anywhere he goes, he'll be fine. But it's kind of like the teams
Most
he'd
other
be going
teams he'd
to is
probably
going to be like a
start.
Wolves or like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Like a
like a
mid-table.
mid-level team who needs a keeper. But took us till I forget what minute we scored in, but I think it was like 88th, 87th. Saka finally makes something happen, sends a ball in, Good run from Havertz, heads it in, somehow sneaks it in the near post. I think it was great that he got he dropped on fantasy. I picked him up. I don't know if you saw that.
I dropped him. I'm so tired of fucking having to never play.
But yeah, I think that's good. Rolling into next week, we got Wolves home, which I will be at. Very excited.
Whoop, whoop.
Excited for you.
But honestly, Brentford had chances too. I think like Mbeumo had a couple chances.
Mbeumo's very good.
Scored. Yeah, he's a good player. And I think not having Tony with him, like him and Tony last year were a great duo. So I think he's kind of missing that
Batman Robin situation.
Yeah.
Not sure why that's what I went to, but that's what I went to.
Yes. Yeah. Good.
But a big win.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Puts you guys where, Dan?
Top of the league, baby. I always see
you go.
Arsenal top of the league.
And as we said before, Ligma balls. Okay, here we go. Spurs 1-2 Villa. Clayton, you want to lead us off?
What a fucking game. This game had my heart racing the whole time. What a fucking game. I mean, so I'm just going to start with the game was like Spurs probably should have had like 4 or 5 goals in the first half.
Son just can't stay on side.
Exactly.
Dude, I know. That was crazy. Guess who has him in fantasy? Me.
But I saw a tweet the other day that said if this was like 3 years ago and the ARs put their flags up as soon as the guy's offsides, we wouldn't think that was an intense game because the play would have stopped, 30 seconds prior to the ball hitting the back of the net.
Yeah.
Which kind of gave me like a whole perspective change of the game. I still think Spurs killed it. I don't think we win that game if Van de Ven and Romeo are playing center back there. And if they've got
Madison
in the center, I think it's a totally different game.
Another team hampered by injuries.
Yeah, slammed with injuries, got a couple red cards, and they full-heartedly dominated the whole first half. If we didn't have Martinez in there,
he had a good game.
He had a phenomenal game. I don't think we come away with anything there. But the second half, I felt like we really took it to him with the exception of like maybe 10 minutes. Martinez made those 2 fantastic saves, and the one like he makes the first save and he gets up and he claws it out of the top corner, and he's like full stretch, and you look at that and you're like, that is a world-class save. And he really proved that he can play back there. And then on the attacking point of view, I mean, Douglas Luiz was phenomenal again. Luka Dean was incredible. I thought he had a great game, and I was full-heartedly saying sell him in the summer.
Is Luka Dean back?
I wouldn't say he's back. He's on too much of wages. If we have the option to sell him in the summer, I still think we do, and buy I don't want to say cheaper, but a left back who's not on as high of wages as he is. But I think he's had a great season so far. And, I mean, Emery made some great changes at halftime with Tielemans coming on and Bailey coming on. Because they totally changed the game for us. Diaby was non-existent the whole first half. Watkins looked like he was chasing shadows the whole first half.
That's one thing Emery's not afraid to do is like make a halftime sub. Like if something's not working out, he like even when he was at Arsenal, he would do that too. He'd make like 2-3 subs at halftime.
Oh yeah, and it's working out great for him.
It worked out, yeah.
And I mean, from Spurs' point of view, they had so many opportunities with Gill and Kulusevski, and
he should have scored
even
like
offsides.
He should have scored like right away. Kulusevski early on hit the post.
Oh my God, I couldn't. My heart was in my throat. But then we went right down the field and we had a good chance. So, I mean, Watkins has to hit some sitters. I'm getting real tired of watching him miss like 6 yards out.
It's really fucking up my prediction for the beginning of the year here.
But like he's scoring like 1 goal, but he'll miss like a tap
4.
in.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, we're only winning these games by 1, bro. Like you could score more.
He had 1 or 2 that were offsides too, right?
He had 1 that was offsides.
Yeah.
He had a header that was off.
Yeah, because I was so stoked, and then I was just not right after that.
And then he missed a sitter back post, which I think Ben Davis got in between and got a touch on, and we just didn't get a corner for. I thought Bailey played great. I mean, I was just really proud of that whole performance. And, we say when it's one of the big teams that, big teams find ways to get results. I mean, we got a result there. That's a big win for us.
Are you saying you're a big team?
I'm not saying we're a big team, but where we are right now and the company we're keeping on the table.
Yeah, you guys are. Yeah,
I would feel like we're allowed to say, "Hey, we found a result against a good team."
Put some respect on Villa's name.
Yeah, were we 3 points off the top?
You're in 4th. I know that much. Does anyone remember it? Did I have Ollie Watkins top 2 or top 3 for Golden Boot?
I don't remember, and we're 2 points off the
Because
top.
if it's top 3, he's 1 goal out. By the way, I should make that clear.
He's still got plenty of time too. I mean,
He's 1. He's got 7. There's 2 people with 8. Son and Bowen both have 8. But other than that, then the Salah had 10, and then Holland, no one's fucking catching.
Yeah, no one's catching
But-
Hollands.
So he's close.
yeah,
I got a chance there.
Yeah.
Sucks for Bentancur too, because he just came back from injury.
And that was a terrible tackle from
That
Cash.
could have been like.
I
been a
didn't
little
think it was going to
sketchy.
be a red, but
You
when
think
he
nothing
did
is a
that,
red.
Nothing should
He
be
wasn't
red.
even going for the ball.
Some guy could literally come up, gun to his head, shoot him in the head, walk home, break into his house, steal his belongings, and you still wouldn't think it's a red card.
Well, he probably got the ball first. No, I didn't think it was a red, but when he did that tackle, I was like, "That's fucking bad."
Yeah.
That was
And,
funny. I'll give you that. That was good.
Then we took Cash out at halftime because he was playing like shit, which I thought was great because Undugi was tearing it up that side of the field. And I mean, it was a game of 2 halves. I was texting a Liverpool fan, and he was like, he only watched the second half, and he was like, "You guys look amazing." I was like, "You should have seen the first half. We look like shit. We look so bad."
But I feel like that speaks to Emery too, because like you said, he at halftime made changes. He obviously changed the game plan and made a difference.
My biggest concern, and Dan, I'm sure you'll love this, is that if we don't make Champions League next year, or if we don't win a trophy this season and then have Europa League or Europa
Douglas
Conference,
Luiz is coming home.
I see Douglas Luiz, I see Martinez, I could see Konza, I could see Watkins all going, "Yep, I had a great fucking season, won a trophy, but I want Champions League football. See you guys." I can see them all. I mean, they're all on long-term contracts, which is the only reason we have the power. But if an Arsenal comes in for $80 million for Douglas Luiz, that's a hard
say
bid
no.
to turn down.
Yeah.
But anyway, 4th place, baby.
There it is. All right, going into the second game on Sunday, I believe it was, right?
Before we
Snooze
do that-
fest. Nothing happens.
Before we do that, we're jumping ahead 2 weeks, but all of us are
Oh,
seeing
yes.
Arsenal versus Villa at
Oh, yeah.
At
Villa Park. And that could be like a huge game for, obviously it's still early on, but like
Yeah,
at
well,
the
we
top
have
of the table,
City
it's a
in
big
between
game.
them, too.
I'm going to be pulling for
Pulling
Villa that week.
Yeah.
I will not be.
We're not seeing. Nobody's going to the Villa Manchester City game at Villa Park in between. Is that at Villa Park or is that at Etihad?
We don't play you.
Yes, you do.
We do play you because we were going to go to that, but we're not. But it's got to be, no, hold on.
There's 3 games. Villa have 3 games between now and then. On the
Okay,
3rd,
so that's
they
what
have
it is.
away to Bournemouth, and then they're home to City on the 6th, and then that's a midweek game. And then Saturday the 9th, we're all
Oh, that's
going,
right. We're seeing it the Saturday, not the
yeah,
midweek.
we're
That's
all
right.
going to
Yeah.
Villa Arsenal at Villa Park, and I will not be sitting next to Dan.
No, we have to sit next to
I'm
each
not
other.
fucking sitting.
We
next to
have to.
It's not happening. I want you so far away from me. It's not even funny.
Jeez, that's gonna be it. The podcast episode back after England's gonna be if we don't record one in England, which is still a
I'm
possibility.
not bringing my computer if someone wants to bring theirs. Dan, does this work on yours?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm bringing mine.
Yeah, I don't really want it because I know I'm going to be like a jackass and forget it or something.
Yeah, I don't want to risk that, but we'll talk about that offline.
Discussion for another time, fellas. Everton 0, Man U 3. Let's talk about the one thing everyone wants us to talk about before we get to anything else.
Exactly. Joni Evans, what's he been up to? Like he wasn't in this team? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's not what I was referring to, in case you were
Okay.
wondering. Obviously, I was talking about Martial scoring. No,
Yeah, to be fair, his goal was nice.
it was, but like no one's gonna give a shit about it.
No. Rashford's penalty. He's finally broken his goalless streak. That was amazing. Bruno was nice enough to give it to him.
We're really blue balls in the audience here, huh?
Yeah.
I want to talk about that later, but we'll talk about the
How
thing
about we
everyone
talk
wants to
about
talk about first.
Mineno.
Everton are really struggling
Yeah,
right now.
they are.
I hope Ryan's who waits. Which I hope he listens to this, and I hope he's like these motherfuckers.
Just don't even mention it.
But yeah, good win. That's it, guys. Right?
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right, moving on now. All right, I'll talk about it. Nachos.
3 minutes in. 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
Start of the game.
Well, I mean, what a fucking bike. All the stuff afterwards.
Yeah, good huff. Love it. Real
Yeah.
hog of a bike.
Yeah, it's a Huffy, I think.
It's a huffy, not huff. That's right. Fair point.
Oh.
Huffy, it's a bike brand.
I get
what
it.
a freaking hit. He was like, what, 15 yards out on that?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the ball gets played from I think whoever's left back at this point. I'm not even sure.
Dallo hit it.
To all the way to Rashford on the other side.
Oh
and
no,
Rashford,
I'm sorry. Lindelof hit it to Rashford.
Sure.
Rashford to Dallo to
No,
Dallo got
Incorrect.
the assist.
no, he didn't. Rashford did.
Do you want to bet?
No, Rashford did not get the assist.
In that goal?
No. I'll put
Low
$20
got the
on it.
assist.
Oh, you're right. Fair point. So Rashford did the low to. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole build-up was very nice too, and which led to a fucking beautiful goal.
Yeah.
So
Pickford couldn't do anything about it either.
no, he tried too. He full extension, just it was fucking placed perfectly.
I didn't turn this game on until after that, and went on Twitter as I was turning the game on, and everything was just
Holy
Nacho,
shit, holy
Ronaldo,
shit.
Nacho, Ronaldo, Nacho, Rooney. It was like I was like, okay, I guess he had an amazing bike.
Yeah, it was just it was so funny too because like when Pickford was getting up, you could just see by his face like, yeah, I just like
He's like, I'm fucked.
I'm gonna be on, like for the rest forever.
Yeah.
One of the best goals scored in the Premier League. I'm gonna be, on the
Part of history, man.
bad side of that.
That just reminds me of like that one commercial that always runs where like Rooney scores that like
Yeah.
fucking crazy goal when he's like 18, and that goal is probably like every fucking day I
Oh,
gotta see
yeah.
this shit.
18-year-old Wayne Rooney. Oh, we
my
went
God.
for it all.
It was Arsenal.
His first goal in the Premiership.
But although I will say after that though, Man U didn't really look good.
No.
That first half, they didn't really look great
They looked
at all.
terrible.
I think
Traore
Everton
should
might
have
have
had
looked better
one.
in the first half.
Calvert-Lewin should have had one. McNeil probably should have had one. I mean, they looked so bad.
Or United were just more clinical in this game.
Yeah.
Well,
Honestly.
they turned it around. They looked better in the second half. I will admit that. And then the penalty was huge, because once they went 2-0 up, they looked much more comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, Everton had 24 shots, only 6 on target. Possession was almost even.
I mean,
Yeah.
Decore from 6 yards out missed the frame. I was like, dude, you got to slot that or at least put some power on it.
Well, he did put some power on it. He missed it.
Well,
But man, you get a win against Everton away, so it's a good win for them. We kept talking about how they were only kind of scraping by scoreline wise. Although it wasn't a great performance, the scoreline at least gives them a little bit more confidence, I guess you could say.
yeah.
And Rashford and Martial will score, who they've been waiting to do something this season. One's a pen.
United have a tough stretch of games coming
Still
up.
have
too.
issues with everyone's public opinion. Like, oh, Bruno's such a good captain, gave Rashford the pen for confidence, and then Odegaard does it for Havertz. I'm just tying this back to Arsenal, of course, because that's what I have. Odegaard does it for Havertz, and everyone's like, oh, that's unprofessional. You have a set penalty taker. Like, I just think it's bullshit, but sorry.
I just think it's bullshit. Who is their penalty taker?
Who?
Is it Bruno?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Bruno.
right. Okay, that's what I thought.
He does the hop thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid shit.
I played against him in fantasy, so I was happy with it in the moment. But
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely two sides of a coin, which I think is funny because I think most people actually like Odegaard and most people dislike Bruno. So it's funny that the reactions were very different.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have to compare Rashford to Havertz is my favorite part of this conversation, actually.
I
Just
think
want
they're
to
on
put
par
that out there.
similar
they got the
wise.
same amount of goals, I think, right now.
Yeah, they're not. Neither of them are playing the way most people want them
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Havertz is playing the people expected him to. Rashford, not as much.
Yeah. Well, you see that thing about like Rashford when he's dating like his girlfriend?
Oh
like,
yeah.
he's doing I forget exactly what
They
it is.
bought
but,
out a
like,
whole restaurant, didn't he?
Yeah, I think like when he's dating his girlfriend, like
He plays
like,
bad?
plays great,
Oh.
and then when they break up or go on a break or something, the opposite. I think he just got back together with his
Yeah, they we're
his
coming out of a
girlfriend or something.
restaurant and he bought out like the whole
Yeah.
restaurant.
The man's got no emotional stamina, man.
Yeah. So United have Galatasaray away, Newcastle away, Chelsea home, Bournemouth home, Bayern away, Liverpool away.
Jeez. And we'll be at Chelsea home, by
We
the
will
way.
be at Chelsea home, yes. I don't know. Where are they getting points there? Are they getting points at St. James's Park in the next Prem game?
It's probably their best chance, but I don't think
Bournemouth.
that's...
Well, yeah,
Well,
but that's,
Bournemouth, yeah, that's the obvious
they're playing
one.
Newcastle next in the Prem.
I don't think they get points there. Newcastle looked way too good against Chelsea, and I don't think Man U's defense is anything better. Yeah, Bournemouth, that's about all they're pulling there, I think.
Yeah.
They can maybe it's tough too because like I feel like I always think the like night games just draw a different type of atmosphere, and they are playing Chelsea at night, so I think
At
that's going to be
night.
a close game no matter what, just because that
Yeah.
kind of like atmosphere and that kind of moment. So that game could go either way. It's almost like when you like rivalry games like that. Not that that's a rivalry, but like it's a big game, two top 6 clubs. Well, I guess
Traditionally, top
OG
six.
top
Yeah.
6 clubs. So I think that game could go either way, just because of how the booking of it. It's
Villa
a prime
call it
time
the,
8:15 game.
The fateful 8 or something like that now, because they want to be able to like make an 8 so they can get it there.
Make it 8.
On the flip side, Everton, they've got Forest away, Newcastle home, Chelsea home, Burnley away, Fulham home in the EFL Cup, and then Spurs away.
Clayton just loves running out fucking just
I do,
lists
because
of games.
it's how you see what's going to happen for these teams in the future.
Yeah, what's
Like,
going to happen? Say them all right now. Right now, do it. You can't do it. You fucking
they beat
liar.
Forest, they lose to Newcastle and Chelsea, they beat Burnley, they beat Fulham in the Cup, and they lose to Spurs.
I hope you're so fucking
I
wrong.
hope I'm right on all of them. But like that's something like with the 10 point deduction, you kind of got to look at the future and go, where are they going to make those points up where they can get out of relegation zone?
Yeah.
As of right now, they're just battling Luton is who they're trying to catch, which is 9. So they're 5 points. 5 points out we mentioned earlier.
And I think they have the team to do it.
Do you?
I do.
Proud of you.
Sean Dyche can do anything.
He literally can't. He literally got fired from Villa,
Burnley.
but he also has gotten fired from Villa.
Sean Dyche?
Well, not Sean Dyche. I'm thinking of fucking. Never mind.
You're thinking of
Yeah, Gene Smith.
the dude at Leicester now, yeah.
Oh, he's not even at Leicester now.
He was at
He
Leicester.
was. It's 2
All
people
right.
you just suck off every week. That's why I had to.
Dean Smith is amazing, bro.
That's
Don't
why I
say
had-
anything bad about him.
That's why I had to go there. Okay, we got one more game this week, which was just a game of fucking penalty kicks. So,
Dude, none of those were penalties. I'll just say it now. No, I'm
Wolves
not
are
talking about
getting
it.
fucking screwed.
did you hear
man.
the coach? The coach finally was just like, "Fuck it over," and he was like, he's
I
like,
would be too. Like,
He's like, it's really ruining careers over here, man. He's like, we're trying to build something, and we're just getting fucked. Is basically what he
Yeah.
said.
crazy.
Like I was driving during part of this game, and it was just like every fucking thing was just like pen, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on
Yeah.
in this game?
I mean, the Ream one, I think, was he just fucking ran him
Yeah.
over. But
Yeah, I agree with that. That was the most obvious, I think,
Yeah.
of the 3.
I think the biggest one was the last one for Wolves. There was like very little
It's like,
contact,
fuck,
and
come on.
it's not called initially, right?
No.
And then they go to
VA.
VAR and they say there's contact.
Like,
I don't know. It's just like
If you're a Wolves fan this year, man, I
You're just
fucking
getting fisted.
You are every week. It's almost every week. I feel like we have this
Yeah.
conversation how they're just getting shafted more than anyone
Yeah.
else. And I also didn't know Willian was Fulham's pen taker till this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, this is just. I just feel bad for Wolves, and you know what? Good for them because they're still not in relegation after getting
Yeah.
just fucking shit on all year from these calls.
they're starting to score more. I mean, we kept saying last year they couldn't
Yeah.
score. Huang has been, he's been pretty great so far this season. 7
Yeah.
goals, I think.
And this is after losing Neto, who's arguably
Yeah.
the best player.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just got fucked again. I hope Wolves stay up just because which I think they will. I think they have
I
a
think
good
they'll
enough
be
team
alright.
too. It's just like you just want to see them get some fucking like benefit from how good they're playing, and they're just getting everything against them this year. Like no team has room for complaints if you're not a Wolves fan. It's just,
Yeah.
but yeah, Fulham get a win. Good for them. It's like hard to talk praise about. It's just fucking 2 penalty kicks and just can't.
The first goal's nice, though.
Yeah, well, we scored a nice goal. Robinson assist. Shout out
Yep.
to the American National.
USA.
Shut up. All right, we can end it there if we just talk about how they got shafted. Unless you guys had comments.
No,
that you
that's
wanted to
all I
bring
had.
up.
No,
I thought
it's
those
all good.
penalties were bullshit, and
Yeah.
I feel like I talk about that all the time, so I'm kind of done talking about it.
All right, we're gonna play a quick game of. Everyone knows everyone's favorite game. I gotta move here so you guys can't see my screen. Oh, I just realized I'm close to. I gotta come this way so I don't pull the freaking headset out. Hold on, give me a quick second to get it.
Was it 3 guesses, right?
It is 3 guesses. Yes.
We're playing Guess That Player,
Oh yeah, we should probably say that next time. Yeah, we're playing Guess That Player.
or Who Am I? We should probably come up with like an actual title for this.
I think it's Guess the Player. I don't
Is
know.
it Guess the Player?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, Guess the Player it is.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I'm 30 years old.
Next.
You didn't get it from that?
No.
It's fucked up. I was born in Braga, Portugal.
I was born in the dark.
Next.
Hang on.
Hold on, Dan's
Fuck
thinking.
you. You don't know it.
You want to bet?
No, but I don't think you know it.
Okay, keep going.
I have spent time with Porto and Porto B in my career.
God, I hate these.
We had 3 guesses?
3 guesses.
Bernardo Silva.
Incorrect.
He's not 30.
How old is he?
Not 30.
Is he like
I don't know. I know he's not 30.
I know he's been around a while.
It's got to be a
Feels like-
Wolves player. We were just talked about Wolves. And Wolves was Portugal too for a little while.
Yeah.
Silva's 29, by the way.
See, I was 1 year off. You take.
When I turn 30, if I turn 29, if you call me 30, I'm gonna be so mad. All right, next
one.
I'm 6'4".
All right.
Jesus,
I had to guess.
are you Ruben Diaz?
I'm not.
Are you Jose Sa?
I'm Jose Sa.
God damn it!
Yes, I was like 6'4".
was
He's got to
gonna
be a
guess it.
goalie.
Damn it!
Let's go.
My next
High
thing was
five
my next thing was I've never scored a goal in my professional career, and I thought that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
I was like 6'4". The only reason I said Ruben Diaz, I was like, he's got to be a goalie or defender.
Yeah, it's either center
I thought it
back
had
or
to be
goalie
Wolves
at that point.
too.
Yeah, I know. I kind of just talked about them, and I was
Yeah.
like, I had it in my head. That's
We
what I was
did that
gonna do.
last time though too. We talked about Jordan Ayew for so long,
And then it's who it was.
Jordan Ayew.
Well, I wanted to do a goalkeeper. We haven't done a goalkeeper yet,
Yeah.
and I was just like, the Wolves game was a good one to end the week on. All right, we got upcoming fixtures to talk about.
Let's
fellas.
do it.
And these are the ones again that we will be seeing if we don't say that 10 more times by this week.
Yeah, give us some recommendations on what to do and where to go, because outside of like the really touristy shit that all the tourists do and watching games, we haven't really come up with anything else.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to say that in time. We are a group of friends who are going to England and stay in London.
Oh my God, we're friends.
No.
Acquaintances, maybe.
And we're seeing 4 Premier League games in 4 different stadiums.
Yeah.
And we're going to spend 10 days over there. So any tips or suggestions?
Yeah.
Or pretty much
Tips,
anything.
recommendations, restaurants, bars, pubs. Sorry.
Brothels. Can I say that? I probably can't, right?
We'll cut that out.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
But yeah, we're excited. This is the first time any of us are going to see games over there. So it's going to be a thrilling ride. All right, real quick, Dan, Arsenal Wolves next week.
I wouldn't be mad if VAR screws them over one more time, just when I'm there in person. But I feel like we should win this one. I'm gonna go 2-0.
Sounds good. Mr. Clayton, you got Luton Brentford.
I'm going 2-0 Brentford.
It's fair enough. Burnley Sheffield. This might be the most boring game of the
That's
fucking
gonna be a barn burner.
I think I'm gonna say
Can we get tickets to that instead of the?
all the good travel to
Yeah.
Burnley. I'm gonna say 1-1. Seems like a game that could end in a tie. Dan, Nottingham Everton.
You know, this actually is a pretty interesting game.
This is.
I'm gonna go Nottingham Forest 3-2.
That's gonna be 2 back-to-back, 3-2s.
Yeah.
Mr. Clayton, we have United Newcastle.
4-0 Newcastle.
Oh God.
I think that Newcastle
Jesus
are just gonna like.
Christ.
United keep talking about how
Brian's
good
not
they've been
here.
playing. How good they've been playing. The hardest team they played was City, and they got fucking
Okay,
worked.
first of all, who on this entire fucking couch has talked about how good Man U's been playing ever?
Brian and
And
actually,
Brian.
he doesn't even say that.
He doesn't-
But like every time I go on like Twitter, or Instagram, the people in Sky are like, "Oh, well, they've won 4 of the last 5." It's like, yeah, they played the worst teams in the Premier League.
I think you
Like,
follow the wrong people on Twitter.
I probably do.
Oh, actually, we're going back to you. I messed that up, but we're going back to you. Villa Bournemouth.
Oh, see, this is a bogey game. We always lose this game. We lost it the first game of last season. I'm really actually kind of nervous about this game. I'm still going to say we win it, though. We say we win 1-0. I think it's going to be a nail biter.
All right, don't bite your nails, folks. Okay, we got Brighton and Chelsea coming up. I'm going to take that one.
I'll
this
be at that
this is
game.
going to be a great game.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
be
this is a
there.
great game for you guys to watch. I think there's going to be a lot of goals. in
Although
this one.
no Reece James, which I know our Chelsea fan friend is very upset about.
I have a 3-2 Brighton win coming.
And it might be
yeah,
suicidal.
we'll be
so.
pissed. Yeah.
Dan, back to you with a Fulham Liverpool at Anfield.
Should be Liverpool easy 3-1.
All righty. And Clayton, we have West Ham Palace.
I'm going to go West Ham 1-0.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. And then the game I will be at with our friend Owen, who is not here, but also a City fan. We have City Spurs at the Etihad. I fucking hate this. I hate that this is the game I'm going to because we have not been able to fucking beat Spurs at home in like 3 years, and it really drives me crazy.
Oof. But they're an injured team right now.
Yeah,
They're-
they got a lot of injuries. Is anybody going to be back?
I'm gonna
in
say-
shape for this game.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm going to say 2-1 City, and Son scores because Son fucking always scores against us. So I'm going to say 2-1 with that specific note.
That's fine for you for fantasy too. I mean,
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Best case scenario if we're talking about fantasy soccer.
So Romeo will be back. He was on the oh wait, no, I think he has one game left. on
yeah,
suspension.
Madison's out till the new year.
Yeah. De Bruyne also out till after
Van de
Christmas.
Ven's
Bob
out
said,
until
yeah.
January, so he's not coming back. Madison's out. Do we know Charleston's out? and Solomon was the other one. He's getting surgery.
And Bendiker's out too.
And Bendiger's definitely out now. So yeah, you're gonna be playing like the same back line.
It doesn't fucking matter. It just doesn't fucking matter. Every fucking year doesn't matter.
Someone's gonna turn up.
So that's the next week preview. We're gonna see the game we're gonna go see. Dan, I kind of fucked up and missed fantasy, so we're gonna have you run fantasy real quick.
All
This
right.
is from the previous week, obviously.
Quick
we just
fantasy
talked about.
update from the previous week. Top of the list was Tavernier, 38.1 points, 2 goals, 3 key passes, 5 shots on target. Morgan Gibbs White, 2 guys that we talked about so far, having great weeks. He had 35.2 points, a goal and assist, and 4 key passes. Pascal Gross, 27.7 points, 2 assists and 6 key passes. Diego Delo, he had the assist to the Garnacho bike, 3 key passes and a clean sheet. And João Pedro with 2 goals.
Very good. All right.
Did you guys win this week?
I did not. I don't think so.
It was an absolute nail biter between me and Brian, and then we looked, and I was like, "Wait, I have 6 more people to play." I was like, "It's not going to be close."
It's not even close.
I think my whole fucking team sucks now, to be honst. They just went
You fallen off
downhill
a cliff?
quick. Dude, literally off the biggest cliff ever invented.
What's your record?
Like 5-8 or something.
That's not bad though. I'm just the inverse. I'm 8-5.
That's a big difference.
I'm 10-3.
Are you from fucking first place again?
I sure
Piece
am.
of shit.
All right, so we're gonna end this with one more thing. I think we talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago, and I think just because I keep singing the praises of one particular player, I think this is a fun discussion to have. Top 3 dribblers in the Premier League.
Ooh. Ever or just currently?
No, currently.
Okay.
Ever
I
could
guess,
open
like-
up a can of worms here.
Yeah.
Dribbling is it's like tough. Is it like take-ons? Is it like
Yeah, because you
Just-
got like Bernardo Silva, who's great on the ball,
Yeah.
but he's not going to beat someone one.
We'll go more. Okay, we'll
Like
go
wingers?
1v1
okay?
Oh, yeah.
dribblers.
Then I think Doku, Saka, Matoma.
Oh, you don't put Mo Salah in there?
We'll give an order. Give a 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have Matt do the same. And then
See,
I'll do the
Salah's
same.
good, but I feel like he gets a lot of like balls over the top, and like he's still good one-on-one. Also, I don't know. I'm gonna go.
Start from 3, and then
Does anyone have a definitive 3 right now, or do you want me to
I know mine.
Oh, you
know
guys
mine.
go then. I'm still thinking.
Dan's
I'm going to go.
waffling over here.
I want to go Doku at number 3, just because. And the only reason I'm putting him there is because historically I've seen these other 2 people do it for longer. He's all been in the league for 13 games. These people have been in the league for longer. I think he could get up there, but just at this time we've seen one-hit wonders come in, come out. So I'm going to put Doku at 3. I am going to steal Dan's and put Matoma at 2. I'm going to put Salah at 1.
Interesting. Okay. So mine goes Matoma 3. I go Neto at 2, and I go Doku at 1.
All right.
Danny boy?
I'm gonna go. Matoma 3.
I'm glad we all have Matoma in there.
Yeah, without it's tough. He's been injured this season, but you know what he could do.
You know what?
Just
I
kidding.
might take him out.
Okay, take him out.
And just
I was actually thinking maybe I should swap him for Saka, but I like
I'm
him.
going-
I think he's a better one-on-one than Saka.
I'm going Saka 3, Salah 2, Doku 1.
God, really?
Oh, he's on the
Doku?
train. He's on the train, baby.
Listen,
Choo-choo,
I think he's
I
motherfucker.
great.
think he's
I
been
love him
great
for
so far.
fantasy, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put him the best.
If we're going off of like current form, then yeah. And I get your point of like doing it longer and stuff, but if we're doing like top 3 dribblers in the Prem like right now,
If
you asked me last
is
year-
to beat someone end line to hit it to
Yeah.
Holland. Like that's his whole shtick right now.
yeah. I feel like just City utilizes him so much now. It's like the ball always kind of goes through him, and he's always taking on players. So
I think
it's
he had
just
the
like-
most touches in the game
Yeah.
against Liverpool in the whole field.
And I feel like Salah.
The thing is, I've seen Salah do it for years now. I've seen him win.
Yeah,
everything,
but a lot of
dude.
the times it's like balls over the top, or it's like he's like combining and he's like doing like 1-2s.
I don't know. He's just such a good all around.
He's still my top 3.
Forward,
Yeah.
and taking someone on, hitting the back of the net, like doing a shoulder fake or something like that, or a quick step over and hitting it with his left foot. I couldn't take him out of there.
Fair enough. Glad we had that discussion. Look at us keeping right on time.
Wow,
fellas.
I thought we were over.
No, we're like right at an
over.
hour. We're right on our normal schedule. That's great.
I thought our game recaps was like an hour itself.
No, we ran through it pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I thought we were talking a long time about the games. When we were talking about Villa, I was like, I gotta shut up.
But that is this week's episode. Thank you for watching. As always, we are super excited. So if you are from the UK and listen to this, message us on everything and we'll go have a beer.
Yeah.
If
Or a
you
pint.
have been to the UK before and you have recommendations, message us.
Pretty
we
much.
don't know if we'll be doing, obviously, the podcast while we're over there, but someone on Twitter or Instagram or something will, if anybody follows us, we'll update it.
Maybe we'll go live on TikTok or something while we're over there. One of the
Maybe.
games. Just
Live tweet.
I want to live tweet one of the games we're at, but I know I'm not going to want to be on my phone.
Yeah,
So
no,
that's
I
gonna
don't
be
think
the
I'm
thing.
going to be able to do it. If one of the match days where we're not at a stadium.
Now we're at a
I'll
pub.
probably- Yeah, if we're at
Yeah.
a pub somewhere.
But then again, we're excited. And I think we can't say that enough. It's going to be awesome. First time for all of us. But thank you for listening.
Oh, and our benchmark. Talk about our benchmark.
Oh, we reached 1,000 downloads. Woo! This season on our episodes. 13 episodes in, we've reached 1,000 downloads.
Yeah.
Huge.
And I think one of our biggest episodes reached about 140. So
Wow.
we're doing good.
Well, thank you so much.
So we appreciate all of you for listening. Again, follow us at socials at League Pines on everything, including TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't make fun of Matt's spelling on Twitter, please. And
It's
listen
getting
to us.
better.
And tell your friends to listen to us if they like the game and the Prem. All right, folks.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.